Panspermia, life from space. Panspermia is a scientific theory that suggests life on Earth might not have started here at all. Instead, this idea proposes that life, or at least the basic materials needed to create life, came from somewhere else in the universe. According to Panspermia, these life forms or building blocks traveled through space on comets, asteroids, or cosmic dust until they reached our planet. The theory suggests that these seeds of life were tough enough to survive the harsh conditions of space travel. Once they arrived on Earth, they found the right conditions to grow and develop into the complex forms of life we see today. Panspermia doesn't explain how life first came into existence in the universe. Instead, it focuses on the possibility that life's origins might be found somewhere beyond Earth. This theory has become increasingly interesting to scientists because researchers have discovered organic molecules in space and in meteorites that have fallen to Earth. These discoveries make panspermia seem like a reasonable explanation for why life exists on our planet. The idea suggests that life might be much more common throughout the universe than we previously thought. The idea behind panspermia. The word panspermia comes from ancient Greek, meaning seeds everywhere. This name captures the main idea that life is not limited to just one planet, but exists throughout the universe and can travel from one world to another. The theory proposes that extremely small forms of life, such as bacteria or spores, could survive the dangerous journey through space. These tiny organisms would be protected from extreme cold, deadly radiation, and the vacuum of space by being embedded inside rocks or dust particles. If these microscopic life forms successfully made it to Earth, they would have found suitable conditions for survival and growth. Over millions of years, these original space travelers could have multiplied and evolved into all the different types of life we see on Earth today. This means that every living thing on our planet might share a common ancestor that originally came from somewhere else in the universe. Evidence supporting panspermia theory. Scientists have gathered several pieces of evidence that support the possibility of panspermia theory. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is the discovery of organic molecules throughout space. Researchers have found amino acids, which are the basic building blocks of proteins essential for life, in meteorites that have fallen to Earth. They have also detected these important molecules in comets and in clouds of gas and dust between stars. These discoveries show that the ingredients necessary for life are not unique to Earth. If the building blocks of life exist throughout the universe, it becomes more believable that life itself could travel between different worlds. Some meteorites that have landed on Earth contain complex organic molecules, very similar to those found in living organisms, supporting the idea that space rocks could carry life's building blocks from one planet to another. Most convincing of all is evidence from experiments testing whether living organisms can survive in space. Scientists have exposed bacteria and spores to conditions similar to those found in space, including extreme cold, intense radiation, and the complete absence of air. Remarkably, some of these microorganisms have survived for extended periods under these harsh conditions, proving that it is actually possible for life to endure the difficult journey through space. Types of panspermia. Scientists have identified several different ways that panspermia might work. Lithopanspermia is the most widely discussed version, where life travels inside rocks that are blasted off a planet's surface when hit by a large asteroid or comet. These rocks, with their microscopic passengers safely protected inside, travel through space until they crash into another planet. If the microorganisms survive both impacts, they could begin to colonize their new home. Radiopanspermia describes a different method where tiny life forms are pushed through space by radiation pressure from stars. Just as light from the sun can push on a comet's tail, radiation pressure could potentially push extremely small organisms or spores across vast distances. Ballistic panspermia focuses on the transfer of life between planets within the same solar system. This type is considered more likely because the distances are much shorter. For example, rocks blasted off Mars by asteroid impacts could potentially reach Earth, carrying any Martian microorganisms with them. Scientists have actually found meteorites on Earth that originally came from Mars, proving this type of rock transfer between planets does happen. Challenges and criticisms. Despite interesting evidence supporting panspermia, the theory faces several significant challenges. One of the most important criticisms is that panspermia doesn't actually solve the fundamental question of how life began in the first place. The theory simply moves the location where life started from Earth to somewhere else in the universe. but it doesn't explain the actual process by which non-living matter became living organisms. The survival of living organisms during the journey through space presents another major challenge. While laboratory experiments have shown that some bacteria and spores can survive space-like conditions for relatively short periods, the journey between star systems would take an incredibly long time, even traveling at extremely high speeds. It would take thousands or millions of years to travel from one star system to another. During such a long journey, even the most resilient organisms would face constant bombardment from cosmic radiation and other hazards that could destroy them. The vast distances involved in space travel also create practical problems. Space is incredibly empty, and the chances of a rock containing life actually hitting another planet capable of supporting life are extremely small. Additionally, even if organisms survived the journey through space, they would still need to survive the violent impact when they arrived at their destination. The importance of panspermia. The panspermia theory has important implications for how we understand life in the universe. One of the most significant impacts is that it expands our thinking about life beyond Earth. Instead of viewing life as something rare and unique to our planet, panspermia suggests that life might be common throughout the universe. This broader perspective has encouraged scientists to search for life on other planets and moons in our solar system and beyond. If panspermia is correct, then planets like Mars or moons like Europa might harbor life that is related to life on Earth. This possibility has motivated space agencies to send robotic missions to these worlds to search for signs of life. The theory also influences how scientists think about the search for life beyond our solar system. If life can travel between planets, then finding life on one world might indicate that life exists on other nearby worlds as well. This could mean that life is much more widespread in the universe than we currently believe. Conclusion: panspermia presents an intriguing possibility that fundamentally changes how we think about the origins of life on Earth. While the theory doesn't provide a complete explanation for how life first began in the universe, it offers a compelling alternative to the idea that life developed independently on Earth. The scientific evidence supporting panspermia continues to grow stronger as we discover more organic molecules in space and demonstrate that some microorganisms can survive the harsh conditions of space travel. These findings make the theory increasingly credible, even though significant challenges remain in proving that panspermia actually occurred. Whether or not panspermia is ultimately proven to be true, the theory serves an important purpose by encouraging scientists to think more broadly about life in the universe. It reminds us that Earth might not be as unique as we once believed, and that life could be a common phenomenon throughout the cosmos. This perspective drives continued exploration of space and the search for life beyond our planet, helping us better understand both our own origins and the potential for life elsewhere in the universe. Thank you for watching. Hope you got a clear idea about panspermia theory. If so, please like, subscribe to watch more videos and share with like minds.